So first, I'd like to welcome all the new subscribers to the channel. I now have a total of around 3,200 subscribers. And this is going to be a update, August 25th, 2015. Update on all the different various projects I have going on. Here's the first update. I have gotten in some of the parts I need for the 660. So I'm rebuilding the Maico 660. As you can see, I have gears I just got in. I have a full clutch. I bought the full clutch. Instead of trying to fix the one that was there, it's got the full clutch. This has the rings. This has a bunch of the gaskets and things. And then we have this over here, which is all the transmission bearings, as well as the washers, and a new connecting rod. And I do have these graphics for that bike, which whenever I get closer to actually putting that bike together, I'm going to actually change this, because I had this to say 700, then I changed it to say 500 because I was putting the 500 engine back on it, but now I changed my mind. I'm doing a 660, so now I need to re-get this graphic and have it say 660. And so that is an update for the 660 engine. So I have got new batteries in, some fans I'm putting on. So there's a 660 engine, haven't done anything with it yet. Just been sitting there. I'm going to be putting Evans coolant on all the bikes. So I need to put the fans on all the bikes. So the specific things I was working on though was for this bike, this is the 86 500, I need a new gas tank. That one's leaking. And I also did buy the 89 CFO gas tank. It does not work with it, it's too big. This won't fit on the frame. So yeah, I have to go back to the original. Put that one on. It works fine with these new rads. They're wider than the originals, but it'll work out. So I ordered a new gas tank because that one's got it messed up. It's got a hole in it. It doesn't hold gas. So that's that one. I never put up a video riding that bike, and as you can see, I changed the tank on it because the other tank, after I rode it once, leaked. So I also put a new ignition on it. I never released those videos. So the main thing is that that bike wasn't running properly. This is the 81 Maico 490. It wasn't running properly, and I found timing was off. I fixed timing. Still wasn't running properly, so I put a new ignition on it. But what it appears to be is that, well, I didn't want it to be, is it appears that there's an air leak. And the air leak could be a couple of different places. One place is that there is a whole bunch of glue type sealant that was placed over top of the crank seal on the outside by the magneto. So I'm thinking that perhaps that is where it's leaking. So I have to pull that crank seal off and put another one on and see if it still is causing that same problem. But I believe that that bike has an air leak, and that's what the problem is with it. So then we'll get on to the 700. This is the bike that probably everyone wants to hear about. I've not ridden it yet besides in the driveway. My guess, based on how it handles, first of all, it doesn't have the same ignition as the 620 does. Based on how it's handling in the driveway, which isn't saying much, and how it revs differently. Definitely seems like it's probably more powerful. But the main thing it seems to me about this bike is, well, first of all, the clutch is easier. The clutch is a lot easier to pull in. It's still hard, but it's easier than this one. This one's caused me pain when I was riding it. I mean, this was making it hard to ride, but it makes me stall all the time, is the clutch. So I've actually changed the clutch lever to something better. I've got a different clutch lever for it, a brand new one. And it's longer. So that one may help out, we'll see. But the main reason I haven't ridden this is because two things. One, I was on vacation. I was on vacation for a couple of weeks. I was in Florida. Here you go. The other thing is that the OHV trails are closed to fire, so I can't ride it anywhere. So since everything up here is closed to fire. We have a lot of fires going on, so can't ride it. So I have been replacing things. I'll show some pictures. I've been putting on the fans, putting on the stuff in the front, putting on the pull. I haven't changed out the spark arrestor yet, or put in the front number plate gas tank. It's the only thing left to do. This bike, last time I rode it, you remember I had the trowels tire? Well, the second time I went out with the trowels tire, it popped the inner tube. So I rode on the rim, put some damage on the rim too, because I had to ride it back down the road. So I got to take that off and put a new tube in it, and hopefully it won't pop it again. I mean, I've never had that happen on my other bikes, so I'm hoping just because I reused the old tube, this wasn't thick enough because I used the real thick tubes. So I'm hoping that fixes it, but if not, I mean, this bike just may be too powerful for a trowels tire. It just may end up just popping it. So, so we'll give you some shots of that bike, the 2015 Maico 700. Just give you some close-ups of it. I'm sure everyone wants to see what it looks like. People don't like these foot pegs, but I'm probably not going to change them because they're fine for me. I don't have these same foot pegs on both of these bikes. They haven't had a problem. They're not like, all my other bikes have the wide foot pegs, as you can see. They all do, except for the 82, which has similar foot pegs to these. They're still changed out foot pegs. They're not the original crappy foot pegs that were on the 82. I switched those off, but I put better ones on it that were still, I don't know if you can probably see in there, but they're still kind of small, but they're sturdy and they're firm. The original ones were junk, so I took them off, and those ones are actually on the 83, so I put the 83s on there, and 83 of course got the wide ones. But so those ones may work on here. I have to check and see, but I mean, I obviously could put those on, but I haven't had a problem with these foot pegs, so that's why I haven't done it. That's why I haven't changed those ones either. So see the Ragger shock. These are the stickers that were put on it. So yeah, I did change the gearing on this. Well, so this does have enduro gears on it, but I did put first of all, I took the protection thing off here because I don't have any of my other bikes, and it didn't really seem like that sturdy anyways, so. And it was hard to get to put it back on when I was changing this rocket because of that, because of this is in the way, and I didn't feel like taking it off, so. Kept it off. So it originally had 50 in the back, which it still does, and now it has 12 in the front. My other bikes typically have 52, 53 in the back, and 12 in the front, so we'll see how this goes. But it had originally 14 in the front, which is way too big. Luckily, again, this is the Enduro engine, so I put it in the front driveway and rode it up the driveway. It was easy to go. Versus that bike when I originally got it, it would stall when I tried to ride it in the driveway because it wasn't going fast enough. It needed to go so fast that even just trying to go up the driveway, you couldn't go up fast enough. So that's why it has that huge gearing on it now. 12 in the front, and is it a 59 or a 69? That's like a huge sprocket in the back. Might be a 59. This sprocket's actually has a 59. So 59. And believe it or not, this sprocket, what that actually is, it's from a 1979 CR125. Honda CR125. So that's how I find them. I just search on Honda CR125 and I get a sprocket and it fits. So the old Honda sprockets for the Honda CR125s anyway bolt right up to the newer Maicos. Not the older Maicos, the newer ones. So say from probably the 80s, but yeah, at least these newer ones they use that one. So, yeah, I don't really have too much else to say here. I got the fans, I need to put them on the bikes. I want to switch over all my bikes to Evans cooling. I have high hopes for it anyways. Haven't really been able to test it that much, but fan on all these bikes, even this one, that one. So I have 2 fans there, and now I have 2 fans here. And then the only one I probably won't put on is the blue one. But I will probably get it again for the 660. Of course. The other thing is, I do have 2 other channels. So like I said, I was in Florida. And so I do have the Opfermans channel, which is just, it's not vlogging like this is. Like I don't talk to the camera or anything like that. It's just mostly nature and travel. So just small videos, short videos usually of just some travel place or some type of animal or something. Like their most recent stuff put on was with dolphins and feeding these baby squirrels. So if you like to have a stuff, you can check that channel out. And then the other channel I just put together is called The Digital Assassin. It's going to be a computer programming type channel. So if you're into that type of stuff, you can check that channel out. So otherwise, yeah, this is currently, it's going to be a while before you'll see a riding video of the 700. And you may be disappointed because it's not going to be at a racetrack or anything. It's going to be in the woods single track. So it's not going to be too much different riding this bike than it is going to be riding the 620 or the 500. But, you know, if I find some straightaways to open it up a little bit, I won't be able to open up though. Not all the way. Not where I ride. There's nowhere to do that. But at least be able to tell you the power, how it feels power wise and how it compares to 620. Again, my thought about it is, based on how I rode this bike, is that I believe it'll be a smoother bike than the 620. I think the 620 has a hit. It does have a hit in the mid range. And based on how this bike revs and how I've been riding it, I think that this bike doesn't have the hit. It's just pure power. This bike is pure power too, but when you get in the mid-range, it has a hit. And I think that the difference will be that I think this bike won't have a hit. And whether or not it's because the piston is 5mm difference in size. I mean, the only difference between these 2 bikes is this bike has a 5mm bigger piston. And this bike here also does not have the same ignition. It has a different ignition. So this one has the ignition with the CDI unit on the outside. It has this box over here. That bike doesn't have it. I'm not sure what ignition is on that bike. It might be SEM. It's either PVL or SEM, one of the 2. I haven't taken off the cover to look. So I don't even know if it has a flywheel. I don't know what's in it. That one has an inner rotor. So that one has a hit. This one, I'm guessing doesn't, but we'll see whenever I actually get out there and ride it. So that's all my updates for now.